Okay,
We're
we
live.
are going live. So,
It pops up on your channels. Oh, there we are. Yep. You're
are we
on.
live? I think we're live.
We're live, buddy. I'm just going to share it.
Oh, good man. Whoops, LinkedIn says you're not approved for LinkedIn Live. Oh, well, that's okay. Hey, we've got some people tuning in. So that is cool. I'll turn my phone off and we will rip into it. So, hey everybody, if you've just joined in, look at the cool graphics and the very sophisticated split screen that we've got for this show. Things are really looking up at Essential Talent. I'm really pleased to be able to say that Dave Letele has joined us for a quick chat tonight. And thanks, Dave, because I know you're so busy.
I'm in there. No worries, man. It's nice to come on here. I just finished a boot camp, our live boot camp. So quickly jumped in the shower, sort of
Good man.
There and chucked my a clean BBM top on, and here I
am. Dave is, he's an amazing guy. Very loyal, very kind, very focused. Really cares about people, and he's also part of the Essential Talent stable. He's one of our speakers, and I don't want to give away sort of the entire life story tonight.
No.
I thought we would touch on just a little bit about your background and how you started off, and then we'll start talking about your amazing movement that you've started. Can you tell us a little bit about the early days?
Yeah, well, something I talk about quite a lot with my talks about where I'm from. My father was the president of the Auckland chapter of the Mongol Mob. He was a bank robber and a drug grower, but he was a good man as well. He was a good man just who'd done the wrong things. And the way he talks about it now is that, he'd done the wrong things for the right reasons, trying to give us, material things as we become wiser. Now we understand, and it was just him doing what he thought he could. So he was in prison for. He got sentenced to 10 years in prison when I was 5 years old for armed robbery, and so I moved to Australia with my Samoan grandparents. Very strict 7-day Adventist family, but very loving as well, and it really instilled in me a work ethic, and same as my father and my mum instilled a great work ethic in me, even if their work was directed more towards the bad stuff in the early days. But my mum and dad had been together since I think they were like 13 or 14. I moved back when my dad got out, and I was 11 years old, so he served 6 years. But I never used it as an excuse, and I talk about it often. Maybe that's where our no excuses came from. I never used it as an excuse to go down that same path. I used it as sort of motivation. I hated being, as anyone poor hates it, and I hated, as a kid, I hated not having stuff. But I had another uncle called Ian, or Uncle Ulla. Ian was his commercial name, but he was boss of duty-free shoppers, and went here when it was big, and then went into Asia and was had a real a massive commercial career. And I used him as my role model to want to be like that. And I went to uni. I did a BCom. Well, I went to uni. It's about all I did. I did half of a BCom. And then I decided I wanted to be a league star. But look, I've been through it all, My life started from the bottom. I've had, a lot of downs in my life. But each time I've been down, I worked and I've got back up. And hopefully I never experienced those downs again.
Yes. So can you tell me about the boxing? When did you get into boxing? What triggered that? Before you answer that, if anyone has got any questions, put them in the comments section, and hopefully we can access them with this new thing that I've got going. Yeah.
Look, I only really got into boxing properly in 2014 for Dave Higgins at Duco. But
Yes.
basically, my life was a mess. I was a shambles. I've known Dave for since we were like 14. So for a long time, I was a poor brown guy. He was a poor white guy. His brother, and another Indian guy called Hitesh, and a guy called Anthony. We're all still good friends to this day. We're all very close.
See that, yeah.
And Dave was just worried about me, so he brought me back here and didn't really understand what I was going to do, what we were going to do. I would just remember I moved back here in February 2014. I was living at my sister's house, my younger sister's house, couldn't fit on the bed I was on, and just thinking, shit, man, is this it, you know? And I got up and went for a walk, and the whole boxing thing came about. I was over in Germany for a Joseph Parker fight, and Dave shouted me over there. And over in Germany at the weigh-in, they'd never seen such a large tattooed islander before. I shaved.
How much were you weighing in then?
Well, I didn't know because every time I jumped on a scale, it said error. So I didn't know what I weighed. But anyway, I was at this weigh-in, at Joe Parker's weigh-in, and they wanted to see how much I weighed because they were just in awe, like they could, as a sideshow. So they dragged me through the audience like a prize elephant by the trunk, and threw me on the scales. And I weighed in at 178 kilos. And everyone jaw just dropped, and they just thought, man, look at how fat this guy is. And I was just so happy because I realized how much weight I'd lost, because I knew I was over 200. So I was 210 kilos.
Serious?
I was 210 kilos when I started. So when I jumped on the scale and it said 178, I was over the moon. I was going, yeah, I'm the man, just real happy and ecstatic. Doing all the stuff you see on YouTube. That's what I was doing. I was just, the stuff you see boxers do on YouTube. And then that's what everyone was laughing at me. They're all laughing at me at this weigh-in. And they even introduced me to Vitaly Klitschko, the head of German boxing. So the head of German boxing, later that night, Dave Higgins took me to this dinner. And the head of German boxing was so amazed at how much I weighed, he dragged me through again like a prize elephant and introduced me to Vitaly Klitschko, telling him how much I weighed. So that's when he said, man, this is what we're going to do. That's when the light bulb, Dave's very creative. So I was going to be, they used to do those dwarf boxing and things like that, these other sideshow circus acts. And that's when I was the new circus act. We didn't know if we were going to do more than one fight, but he said, this is what you're going to do. This exact character that you played when you jumped on the scale, you're going to do that. When you go back home, we're going to unveil you. That's what he said. We're going to unveil you at Joe's press conference when he fought Brian Minto. But you have to be this arrogant, do whatever you want, talk about yourself in the third person, just be a real basically an asshole,
How did you feel about that?
Well, I had no money.
Yeah,
so I just said, how much am I going to get paid? I had not 1 cent. Not 1 cent in my pocket, nothing. Staying at my sister's house and being supported by my other sister, who's also younger. She's passed away now, my sister Vicky. Yeah. She's a really big, she influenced my journey a lot at the start, because there's plenty of times at the early days where I wanted to give up. And I just wanted to go and just do some crime or something just to get some money, because I hated it. And I had my family back in Oz, and I was just depressed, but she kept encouraging. So I came back and I just played this character. The first weigh-in I was at, it was all no script. I just came out and I basically was playing like a bad guy wrestler, a heel. I walked out, I jumped on the scale. No one knew me. I jumped on the scale, and the scale said error again, and everyone laughed. And this is a big press conference. Joe's Brian Minto. I jumped and I was on the scale, said error, and I was doing the muscle man pose just like back in Germany. And I said, no one's tougher than me. No one in New Zealand is tougher than me. And I had to call out the area that Joe was fighting in. Of course, the first area he had to fight in was South Auckland. So I had to call out all of South Auckland. I said, not one person in New Zealand is tougher than me, let alone South Auckland. And look, they played it on Crowd Goes Wild. It went in the papers, and people just went wild. They with hate. I was getting death threats constant. People were telling me they're going to shoot me on sight. The worst one I got was someone sent, and it sticks with me to this day, someone said they'll send me rope to hang my family with.
Man.
You know, these are the types of messages I was getting. All the while I was so depressed and hated my life. I was now living in a community home by this stage, Grace Foundation community home. My sister set up a charity called Grace Foundation where they look after ex-prisoners, battered women, homeless. I was living in one of these homes on a mattress on the floor at the start of this Butterbean thing, and I was getting all this constant hate. And I didn't use it as a reason to stop. I used it as fuel to keep me going. And I always talk about it as having a real strong why. My why was my children. I wanted my children back. I wanted to be a better example for them. I wanted my life back. So I kept getting out, kept going for walks. I kept on with my nutrition. Now I had no money, so I only ate the best that I could. I just stopped drinking fizzy drinks and I had one treat a week. And that was real basic. And I won my first fight, you know, and it sort of got bigger than what anyone thought in terms of the hate. So it sold tickets, and I kept fighting on Duco cards. Duco actually got worried about me because of the hate that we were getting. So I had to do a video that sort of said, "Look, man, I'll find the video. It's there." You know, I showed where I was living, literally on a mattress on the floor. The reason I was on the mattress because and I fell on the bed and the legs broke. So just to calm people down, you know. But still, you know, there was a lot of hate. But I just kept pushing through it. You know, even up until 3 years ago, only 3 years ago, me and my partner, who's now my wife, and 3 of my boys were all living in a sleep out with no kitchen. That was only 3 years ago. This place was no bigger than a kitchen, you know. So, you know, we kept pushing through. We kept working hard.
So what was the point? What was the tipping point where you decided to start this incredible movement? What was the day that you went, right, I'm going to do this?
Oh, so I was fighting on all these cards, and each card I was on, I kept losing weight. And that's how the group started. So amongst all the hate mail I was getting constant messages. Man, how are you doing this? What's the secret? Everyone wanted to know what the secret was. So I would tell them, well, I stopped drinking fizzy drinks and I started walking. So, you know, that was the secret. But I started a group on Facebook called BBM Motivation because on all my other platforms, I was still being a dick, you know. So, and I was playing the character to a T. Like I was out of character. I played it in and out of the ring, but it wasn't me. I was just I had an opportunity to make some money. It wasn't big money. You know, I was getting paid I was getting paid $5,000 a fight. That wasn't big money. But especially if it's only fighting every now and then, but that's all I was getting. So I played the character to an absolute T. You know, even I used to, you know, I'd say, oh, Butterbean's going to train, Butterbean's hungry, Butterbean's tired. I always talked about myself in the third person. But in the group Butterbean Motivation or BBM Motivation, I could be myself. So I started with just me, and it was just slowly people would start coming as they'd message me, I'd tell them go here. And then I just share what I'm doing, share my training, share what I'm eating, and I'm very, very open. You know, at the start, the only time I was really happy was when I was training. At the very start of my journey, only time I was happy was when I was training because I forgot how shit my life was. So, but when I wasn't training, I felt real like I wanted to kill myself. There'd be times when I'd go to walk at One Tree Hill and I'm driving back to the place in Clendon I was staying at the community home, and I'm driving down the Mangere motorway, and I'll always be looking at power poles, always just looking at the power poles, thinking I should just drive into these, I should just drive into this pole every day. That's what was going through my head, and then I'd think about that, and sometimes I'd start swerving, and then I'd get back on the road, and it was just always in my mind was my children. That was it. That's all I would think about to save me, and so I just trained a lot. Maybe that's why I lost weight so quick, because I just trained all the time. Because while I trained, I wasn't thinking about how shit my life was. And that's sort of how the group started. It started just me, and now it's got, I think, nearly 14,000 members. And it's, you know, we started a boot camp. With our first boot camp, wasn't a boot camp. It was just helping my father-in-law's friend out west. We're living with our parents at the time, my wife's parents. He asked if I can help his friend. I said, no worries. We met at Trust Stadium. And I just thought to myself, geez, we should see if anyone else wants to come to these, because we were doing no boot camps. And then we did. And then now from those 3 people, we're having now around 2,000 people a week. And the amazing thing is, we shut down all of our boot camps. We were the first people. We did it straight away. Over 2 weeks ago, we shut down every boot camp, all our world's biggest, and then all of our community boot camps. We've gone online now. But the amazing thing is, now we're reaching even more people.
Yeah.
You know, I think most of the day, we're almost at 200,000. We'll be over it now, over 200,000 reach, and all these views of people that never would be exposed to us. It's pretty amazing.
So what's your vision going forward after we get, sort of post coronavirus? What's your vision for the movement over the next few years?
Well, BBM will be everywhere, and it needs to be, it has to be, because it's a solution, not just to obesity. You know, we're not a weight loss group, and we're not an exercise group, which we get pigeonholed a lot. You know, what we've done is we've built a community much like a marae or a village back in the islands, but we've built a community like we used to be back in the days. The old saying where it takes a village to raise a baby, that's gone. You know, everyone's too busy raising. Now, look, now it's coming back because everyone's spending time with their families. They have to.
Yeah.
But what we're doing is we're bringing this back. So if anyone needs anything, and we've done this leading into this pandemic, you know, if anyone needed food, we're there. You know, if someone needs something, we're there. So what BBM will be, we've just done a deal with look, we'll be everywhere. We'll be within the system. We'll be the cornerstone of health for our people, but for all people, but predominantly Māori Pacific, for health, for all around health. You know, we'll be the go-to because you can't beat lived experience. And not just myself, but all of our team leaders have that. And now what we've done is built infrastructure. Because I learned very quickly, I learned the hard way that people in terms of governments and DHBs, they don't count your Facebook posts as data.
Yeah.
So people say, "Where's your data?" So, do you not follow me on Facebook? So I had to build infrastructure around me. And how amazing is that? That now we have people that are employed by us. And you needed that because when people are looking at me, in the past, they would just see an islander training other islander Māoris. I'm half Samoan, half Māori. They'll just see a brown guy training other brown people in a park somewhere, thinking that we'll just fade away just like another exercise group. But we haven't. We've been here now 6 years. We're changing thousands of lives. They can no longer ignore us. But when they look at us, they see an infrastructure. They see an organization. They see my uncle, who was my uncle was the boss of Restaurant Brands up until last year, who's my enemy. Not my enemy, but
yeah.
Then I've got Fortino. I've got who used to work for Coca-Cola. Now she's seen the light. They've all seen the light now. They're working with us, not for me. They're working with us. We've got Lauren and we've got Ann Lee, and also myself and I. So we've got a team now where it's not just reliance on me. And we've got over 20 team leaders that are all been through this journey. And we've just developed a course to certify all of our trainers and future trainers and all of our team leaders, because it's very special to be able to do what we do. It's not a personal trainer where it's 1-to-1. We're 1 to 100. We're 2 to 100. We can train that many. And the hard thing is, you might train a group of 50 or 100, and there's all different fitness levels in it. So you have to be able to train the real fit guys so they get a real good workout, but then also train the people just off the couch so they get a good workout, don't feel left out, and we all train together.
So what would your advice be to someone who's at home, hasn't done exercise for many, many years, is overweight? What's the first step to get this journey underway?
Oh man, the first step is taking that first step, and I've told you this, Shaun. I told you this when we met in that cafe.
Yeah.
And then you were very quick to change the subject when I told you you should be joining in my boot camp. So I'm like, okay, the first thing is just starting. Don't think about it. We don't need to think. How many people I go and visit in hospital, I go visit their family members. They'll give anything. They'll give anything to have an opportunity to go back in time and start. We all think it won't happen to us. Okay, we all think, and you've had a few health scares with yourself, and sooner or later those scares will no longer be scares. So that's when I'm saying to people, this is vital. You have to start, and starting is not running for a marathon. Starting is walking to the letterbox. Starting is cutting back on fizzy drinks, until you cut it out. Starting is not eating takeaways too much, just making a small start,
Yeah. Dave, thank you so much for your time tonight, mate. I know how busy you are. And on behalf of everyone in New Zealand, thank you for what you are doing for everybody.
No worries.
We really appreciate it.
I just want to finish on some values.
Yes, do it. Fire away.
BBM. Okay, now I just made this a little poster because I'm going to post it in our group. It's very important. What people are missing now is the connection. You see, so exercise is one thing. People don't miss the exercise. They don't miss it a bit. But what they're missing with us is the connection. I'm sure you miss it too. Being connected to people. When people come to a BBM boot camp, they're connected. So that's why when I do my online boot camps, I'm running it just the same way as if I'm talking to you right now. And one of the values, I talk about values of BBM, and I just was writing stuff down today. And this is the values I think of a good person, of how we all should be. It's not just values of BBM, but it's being humble. Now people used to say to me all the time when I started my career, you need to humble yourself. You're not humble. I knew I was humble, but I was doing what I had to do to feed my family. But I knew I was humble. If you meet me, I was humble. But being humble is not a doormat. So we need to understand that, especially our people. A lot of the times, our multi-PIs, we just head down. Yes, 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 no. Head up and say what you feel. Be humble, but that's not a doormat. Okay? Serving others. Serve others. That's what we do, not just myself, but all of BBM. We serve our people. We serve our community. I said it the other day, Shaun, and if you just help someone, how good does that make you feel? Just helping someone a little bit. That gives you joy, and you need as much joy as you can in going through this tough time. Not judging people ever is the next one. Don't ever judge anyone. You don't know what they've been through. You don't know what they're going through day to day. You don't know where they live. You don't know what their family's like. You don't know their circumstances of where they come from. Never judge. Never judge ever, but always encourage. Always encourage someone, leading by example, not just words. Too many of our leaders lead by just talking. No point just talking. You got to lead and show actions. What's the point of sitting around a table and talking about health when everyone there is unhealthy? They're telling me about health. Lead by example. And the last one is whenever you achieve something, whenever you achieve your goal, turn around and help others. That's what we do all the day, all the time in BBM. But all these values I've just talked about are values that society should embrace. So thank you very much, Shaun. And
thank you, my brother. You're a great man. All the best. Yeah, baby. Thanks, man.
Thanks, team. Much love.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.